So I got a few comments from my video yesterday, and someone asked, "Why don't I show my face?" and that I should make a more visually appealing video by showing my face and not my chest. The reason I showed my chest instead of my face is because I don't want someone to take my face and plaster things all over it and calling me a flat tart and whatnot. The same individual that asked me why don't I show my face, I went into his YouTube account, and he actually was that type of individual. He had someone who believed that the earth was flat, and he made a video, and on the guy's face he put like fake glasses on. He put flat tart on him and stuff like that, and I just don't want that to happen to me. You can do that with pictures or videos of my chest or whatever body part I'm showing. I hide my face just because of that. I'm not ashamed of the flat earth, but I mean, I don't like what globe people do, and that's just basically they they just do rude things with people's faces and stuff like that. And I have to say that us flat earthers, we do the same. So I mean, it's like we're at war with each other, and we do disrespect each other. I can't say that, globe people, they're mean to flat earth people and this and that, because I mean, we we do the same thing to globe people, but I mean, I think we do it to people that we feel that they know that the earth is flat, but they're like gatekeepers, and they just want to basically keep people believing that the earth is a ball when they know in fact that it is not. So I don't show my face for that reason. I am not ashamed of this is my real voice. I'm not ashamed of the flat earth. I talk on the streets to people about flat earth. Um, I'm not afraid. Um, if it just wasn't for people taking people's a snapshot of their face and writing cruel things about them, then if that didn't exist, then I would show my face. Again, this same individual that asked me why don't I show my face, he asked me where's the math to prove a flat Earth. I don't know why this individual will ask me things like that, because if you look at my videos, there's nothing but the evidence that I have to that I suggest for a flat Earth. And 8 inch per square mile is math for a flat Earth, and it's something that ball Earth people still won't accept. If I give someone the 8 inch per square mile, they don't accept it. I've seen this being rejected by globe people all the time, and they say that that's not an accurate mathematics to prove curvature to the Earth. But then again, then you see Vsauce in his new recent video saying 8 inches square mile is true, and it proves a ball Earth. Like, it doesn't make sense. But I know that if you're leaving a comment that you're just you're like a gatekeeper, you're one of these people paid to discourage flat Earth people. You could be just a ball Earther defending the globe model, because I mean, you don't want to wake up to reality that the Earth is flat. But I mean, either way, my channel is called "You Cannot Debunk the Flat Earth." You come into this channel, you better bring some evidence that the Earth is a ball, and like convince me that it is. But don't call me names. I'm not calling you a name. If you notice my videos, um, I mean, I bring evidence that the Earth is flat, and I don't try to copy anyone's work. I don't repost anyone's material. I find my own things that prove that the Earth is flat. I have a video. It's my favorite video because you just cannot debunk this. Brian Cox is at he's like in Central America or South America, and he's at this ancient ruin, and this ruin was done. It was erected in the BC era. And at in the documentary, he said there was a temple, or is a structure, and the structure follows the path of the sun in the sky. He says that the sun still rises exactly the same in the same position uh, in the structure as it did thousands of years ago. This is my favorite video because if what he said was true, then there are no plate tectonics. Plate tectonics say that the continents are drifting 2 to 3 inches a year. If thousands of years went by at 3 inches a year, about 3 inches, it differs according to what scientific source you go to. Science can never make up its mind, but science is truth and knowledge, right? But let's say if it's just 1,000 years, and that's 3 inches. I mean, that's 3,000 inches. That's a lot of inches. That sun, according in that structure, would not be aligned for that long. But he said at the end of the segment, he said the sun still rises in the same position in the structure as it did thousands of years when this thing was first built, he said. And this thing was built, I mean, in the BC area. So you're talking about around, if I'm not mistaken, it was built around BC 200. So you're talking about like 2,300 years. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that's like 6,000 inches of plate tectonics, according to science. But science contradicts itself, and science is wrong. So that's one of my best proofs to prove not that the earth is flat necessarily. I don't take something and say, well, the earth is flat because you see that the sun is still rising in the same place. That doesn't, I don't want to say that proves the earth is flat, but I do want to say that proves that science lies to you. And if science lies to you, then what else is it lying to you about? And then, yes, if I go that route, then I can say, well, then that supports my theory that the earth is flat, because if science has lied about these little things, I mean, it can lie about anything. But I mean, the evidence is there. I present evidence for a flat earth. Is there anyone, instead of calling me a name, leaving a comment, like you shouldn't even be leaving a negative comment. You shouldn't be watching flat earth videos if you don't believe the earth is flat. Just ignore us. We're crazy. But I mean, please educate me. Let's have an intelligent conversation. If you really care about fellow human being, why don't you try to educate them and say, hey, hey, sir, I understand you fell for this whole flat earth thing, but, I really care where your mind is at. And, as a human race, we should seek truth. And I think you've been deceived. And let me educate you on why the earth is a ball. And I'm going to show you the evidence. And, it's all right, friend, we're all deceived and this and that. But no, you come out and you're like, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb. And when you do that, you don't show any intelligence whatsoever. So, I mean, is there anyone out there, a globe earth person, who is this type of individual who does care for his fellow human man and try to educate me, show me proof that the earth is a ball. Show it to me. Don't show me a picture of Earth, because I've heard globe people say, "Oh yeah, well it is CGI and it's stitched and it has to be because the satellite is this far away and the Earth is this big." Like, I've heard globe people say that. Like, no. But this, and I hear the same globe people say, I hear other globe people say, well, no, that is a true image of the Earth, even though there's proof that it is, NASA themselves confess that it is CGI. So show me, I mean, even an experiment on Earth, show me that the Earth is flat. I mean, a ball. Because I can show you here on Earth a bunch of experiments, a bunch of them, within seconds that prove that the Earth is flat. Show me one that proves that it is otherwise. Just show me. And I know that it's going to be impossible to show me because you're going to say, well, um, that there's no way to conduct such an experiment because the science doesn't allow you. The physics of how the world works or the universe works doesn't allow for you to demonstrate such an experiment. And isn't that convenient? So, I mean, is there a real person out there, a real believer of the globe Earth, to show me otherwise, to show me that the Earth is a ball? Because, I mean, I'll accept it. If it's the truth, then I'll accept it. But don't come into the channel and tell me to provide the math. What math you want? I just said yesterday to the person who left me the comment, he's got a thumb image of a cheese. Yesterday I said something about the Mormon, and I said let's go to the horizon and look at it, and I know that the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference. Now, the reason I said that yesterday is because people say, well, the Earth is so big, you're not going to see curvature. At 25,000 miles in circumference, that's not a lot of mileage. And the people that use that, well, the Earth is big, they also say, well, we're so minute, we're so small, and the Earth is so big that here on Earth, we're only the horizon is always going to seem flat because we're so small. Now, when you say that, you're not giving any measurements, any numbers at how small we are relative to the globe Earth and whatnot. I mean, I saw Vsauce giving some examples of measurements and how small we are compared to the Earth. And what he was saying made no sense whatsoever because everything that he was saying was a lie. And I mean, is there someone out there that can actually give good, concrete, mathematical formulas and equations or proof that how small we are compared to the Earth? Now, I know I've mentioned Vsauce and how he did not make sense. The same person with the cheese thumbnail image said to me, or it was somebody else, there was two people left a comment, and this other person said, or it was the cheese thumbnail image person said, you don't believe in the globe Earth because you can't understand science. My friend, I understand science very well. I'm literate. I look at the math. When something doesn't make sense, then it does. It's not because I cannot understand it. It's because it has been intentionally brought as a lie, and that's why it doesn't make sense. Now, if the mathematics were true that Vsauce or anyone presents, if it was true, then it should be understandable. Maybe not at first, but if you keep going at it and try to understand it, then eventually you will. I know this because I've taken calculus, I've taken algebra, and I remember at first, you don't get it. You have to just keep doing the problems over and over till you find out how to actually do it and how you come to the sum of whatever problem you're trying to solve. But you can't tell me that I don't understand science and that I don't understand math. I went to the same school system that you went through. I learned the same thing you did, and I blindly accepted it. And then when I started to question it, then I saw that it was just a bunch of lies. I mean, it's kind of silly that I'm even saying this. I'm really just saying this to people that are listening to me, so they could understand my frustration with someone commenting to me and asking me these things. I really don't have any hope for this individual to even contact me back because, I mean, I think I'm just wasting my breath. This person is just either in denial or that the earth is flat, or he's just somebody trolling and basically trying to get at me. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is just to express to whoever is listening that well, in my defense, that if there is someone out there that legitimately believes that the earth is a ball, please provide me the evidence. And also, if you legitimately believe that the earth is a ball, don't think of me as dumb, or you know what, think of me as dumb, but why don't you invite me to have a conversation with you, whether a recorded conversation, like a little debate, where you try to bring me evidence that the earth is a ball, and I try to provide you evidence that the earth is flat, and it'll be a gentlemanly conversation where we will engage and we'll exchange our ideas and we'll be friendly with each other and we'll try to get to the truth of it all. That's my video for today. Thank you and goodbye.